Wow, coming down the street where I used to live. Here's a Loyola School of Law. Wow. Turning on 9th Street. These are the old apartment buildings where we used to live, where I used to live. Wow. Amazing. Everything's still here. Church. Wow. So there used to be 9th Street, now it's called James Woods. This used to be a liquor store right here in the corner. And this is the place where Rampart beat the shit out of me right here. Wow, this is still here. These tenements are still here. So I'm gonna turn on Burlington off of James Ames Wood Boulevard, which used to be 9th Street, and turning on Burlington. And we have the Burlington and convalescent home here to my left. And I used to live in this house here. Used to live right there. It's amazing, it's still there. Wow. So now I'm gonna head down 8th Street. This is largely a Central American community now. It's almost mostly been Hispanic, but by Hispanic I mean Mexican. But then a large influx of Central Americans and Cubans came in the late 70s, early 80s, and now it's predominantly Central American. The other folks who used to live here were older, white crowd, Social Security, living on fixed income. I gotta watch out because there's a lot of bad drivers. You don't know how to drive, do you? You don't know how to drive. All right. So turning down on 8th Street, going down Memory Lane. Man, this is crazy. I haven't been here or walked through here in decades. There's Westlake. There's Alvarado. This used to be a Denny's back in the 80s. I don't know when it was torn down and replaced by the 7-Eleven now, but that used to be a Denny's way back into the 70s and 80s. And then back here there used to be a Pioneer Chicken. So I'm passing the corner of Alvarado and 8th. So I'm heading west on 8th Street. I haven't been down these streets forever. There's the camping grounds of folks. More campgrounds. Hoover and 8th. It's amazing to be going down this place.
Love and happiness. Wait a minute, something's going wrong. Someone's on the phone, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Talking about how she can make it right. Yeah. Yeah. Happiness is when you really feel good with somebody. There's nothing wrong being in love with someone. Yeah. Oh, baby.
There used to be a Rexall here to this side. That used to be a Fine Steakhouse right here. A Fine Steakhouse, and then there was a rotisserie barbecue chicken right there on the corner. That's gone. So a lot of things have changed. This is now Koreatown. And some things are still here, but a lot of it has changed. Some of these older apartment buildings are still here. Probably kind of gentrified. It used to be very popular with the immigrants because it was and low income folks because of the cheap rents. But I'm sure now the rents have gone up astronomically. It's not a cheap area to live in anymore. It definitely is not the place that I grew up. Wow, this is all new right here to my left. This is all new. This is all new. Wow, Catalina Liquor. That's been around there forever. And right here to my right is the grounds of the Ambassador Hotel, now a high school. Now I'm going to turn here, a left on Kenmore. My friend Ray, God rest his soul, used to live right there. They used to live right there on that little apartment, and then these houses next door, which are now kind of all boarded up. These used to be halfway homes for the mentally ill, and I'm not sure what it is now, but they're all boarded up, and it looks pretty bad. But this is on Kenmore, so I'm sure that's haunted. But yep, that used to be the home for halfway home for people who had been released from mental hospitals. So we used to play and have a great time on these streets. Everything's all different, all different. All these cars weren't here. There's a lot more cars now. Okay, so I'm gonna turn here on James Woods. or 9th Street. And I used to have some friends here. Cecilia, they lived here. And then I would come down here, and this is where Jackie and her sister and her family lived, here on this corner house. Right there in those apartments. But that's all changed. This is all new right there. Oh, it's just all new, all new. Now I'm gonna turn on San Marino. And you guys will have to excuse the shoddiness of some of these shots. I'm using the device that I'm using to hold the camera is sometimes a little hard to hold. I gotta get a better one. Taking this drive through my old stomping grounds back in the 70s when I was a kid. It's amazing. Just wanted to share with everyone. I'm sorry if my commentary is kind of off the cuff and maybe a little bit too verbose, and if I'm hesitating a lot. It's just that it's unscripted, so as I'm driving through here, I'm just kind of coming up with commentary. Fedora Street, I'm gonna turn here. I'm heading south on Fedora. Wow, this is all new. This is all new. All new, except for these houses. There's a Yoshinoya right here, which is great. This is amazing. So I'm right now on the corner of Olympic and Fedora. And when I was a kid, we used to roam around these areas. My friends lived over here on this side of Olympic. And I used to come over here and play. Back then, before it was Koreatown, there were a lot of Japanese immigrants that had businesses here. There were a lot of gardening shops, plant and gardening supply places, Japanese restaurants, but they have all moved out long ago, and it's now here become largely Korean, one of the biggest Korean communities outside of South Korea, mixed in with Mexican immigrants, Central American immigrants. So it definitely is a rich cultural melting pot that we have here. This is amazing. This is gone. This is all gone. There used to be a house right here on the corner. That's gone. That's gone. Wow, amazing. Wow, this house is so familiar to me. We used to play here as kids on the street. Play tag, water balloons. Okay, and I'm gonna make a turn on 12th Street. Berendo is just down the street on my left. So I'm turning on 12th, and I'm gonna come down Mariposa. And turn down Mariposa. I'm gonna come down to the street that I lived. A lot of this is new. I lived in this house here. The one that you see as 1124 South Kenmore. And that house is haunted. I'll tell you a story about it later. That house is haunted, or was haunted when we were there at least. Moving down, I'm gonna make a turn, left turn on 11th, so I can get a traffic signal because it is too crazy to cross Olympic from a stop sign. So I'm gonna make a right here on Normandy, and although I'm not, I didn't have a chance to stop by there, but on Pico Boulevard, there's a Greek store there. It's been around for decades. What's left over, the last enclave of Greeks that used to, I guess, be kind of ubiquitous here in the neighborhood. Papa. I forget his name. I can't. But they make great gyros, awesome gyros. In the corner right here, as you see there, that building, where the address is 965. That used to be a Japanese gardening shop. If you look over to mother, what's he doing? If you look over to my Jesus, if you look over to my right, this is Gramercy Park. This is where Mara Salvatrucha was born. This is here on San Marino and Irolo. Irolo turns into Normandy, and then it kind of reverts back. So I'm making a turn here. Just got to keep an eye out because there's a lot of folks everywhere. I want to run over somebody. But yes, that's Gramercy Park. That's where the Mara was born. There were a bunch of rock and rollers that wore long hair, smoked weed, and were basically just considered geeks by the rest of the Hispanic gangs. But they quickly